actually have the healing potion ingredients here right now, but we'll get that in a little bit. So, you need glass containers, you need ribbon to put the containers so you can hold them, and chains also to make the containers so you can hold them well and maybe carry them on your belt. Or you can just do a chest. Whoa, that was really loud. You can just do a chest. I should stop doing that. You can just do a chest. That's a good way to carry things too. But I guess if you get tired of carrying a chest and you just want to take one, it's nice that they can be hung from your belt. So we're going to get started with that. And you need some stain too, at least most of the time, because it's hard to get a carpenter that will stain the chest in the way that you like it. So it's much easier just to buy an unfinished one, make it whatever color you want yourself. And so yeah, I guess I will just get started on that and kind of rework how this works, and I hope you enjoy. So there you have it. Audio quality probably increased and the kitties. But anyways, so staining is pretty straightforward. You just take a brush or a sponge and just lather it all up. Really don't know why the carpenters won't do it, but anyways, it's fairly simple. Be sure you're wearing gloves when you do it, otherwise your hands are going to get as stained as your box there. And I like to do everywhere. I guess you don't necessarily have to do the bottom, but I like to. I did the inside as well, so that when you opened it up, it's still nice and pretty. And I like the walnut color because I feel it looks good next to the healing potions. It accentuates them. They're normally, or at least mine are always a bluish color, so it looks really good that way. Now we go on to the prepping the bottles for the potions, I suppose. So I like to do a fishnetting, and here I really have to apologize because I got a horrible angle for showing you how to do this, and tried several things, but it didn't seem clear enough, so I ended up trying to refilm it and show you more clearly. So here we are, and you want to just do a loop around the bottle, and then you're going to take your end of the ribbon and you're going to go in through the top of your main first loop, I suppose. Go down so that it's in front of the other side of the ribbon, go across that, and then go up through the bottom this side and through the loop that you just made with the ribbon. So make it look like this essentially, and then just hold it right there and tighten it at about the length that you want it to be. And then you're going to just go through and do that all the way around. Once again, you go down through the top and in through that loop, and then across, and then up through the bottom and down through the loop that you just made. So it looks like this, and then you tighten it. And try to get them as even as possible, but since it's handmade, don't worry too much about it. That's part of the charm of handmade things, is they're not completely uniform. They don't look like a machine did it. They look like you actually made it yourself. So yes, you want to do that. It's up to you how many loops you want to have and how big you want them to be. I like 4 or 5 generally. I went with 4 for both the bottles and for this little sample because I thought that was about the size that was good for it. When you come to the end of your first little row here, it actually gets much easier from there, because then you're going to go down through your loop and across and up through the loop and then down through the loop that you just made, just like you always have. And it's much easier because now you're working with actually a loop and you don't have to pull on the ends of it to try to get your ribbon a big enough gap for your ribbon to go through. So it makes it much easier and very relaxing at this point, actually. At least I found it relaxing. I enjoy doing these things. So yeah, there you have it for how to do this little fishnet strip. The hardest part, I would say, is making sure everything is facing the right way and it doesn't get twisted. So, yes, and then you just go through and do that. Oh, and with attaching the chains, just on your initial one, you're going to loop it through the chain before you make your first tie. And here, again, I made another mistake. It seems like it's better to get too much ribbon than too little, so get more than you think you'll need instead of just the right amount like I did, because otherwise you're going to end up with your half done. And do you get more ribbon out, or do you just and deal with it looking horrendous, or do you just redo it? So, and here's the bottom. You're just going to sort of snake it through several times until it's just this mangled up little spider web down there, and then you cut off the end after you tie it. And there you have it. That would be your first bottle. So I did cut off the ribbon and start over again. When you're doing your chains, if you do chains, make sure that they're different lengths, because if you're going to hang them on your belt, you don't want them all banging together. No, you want one that's a little bit higher and one that's a little bit lower, so that they hang nicely and look good. That is if you have 3. That seems maybe a little bit too much, but unless you have friends. So yeah, you just go through and you make all of them. They're going to take, well, these took me about 30 minutes each of them, so some time, but just relax and enjoy it. Maybe put on some music. I hope you are enjoying the music you're listening to, by the way. I thought it was appropriate for traveling, at least I like it. And then you end up with these bottles, and they look lovely, in my opinion anyway. So here's the actual making of the healing potions, and there are many different ways to do it. Well, 2 that I know of, I suppose. You can use healing stones. They come from only one place in the world. See, I am from Tirsendel here. They come from McArther's, which, is the only place in the world where they come from, and they're a little bit expensive and kind of hard to get your hand on. At least since I'm so nearby, it makes it easier. But the nice thing about healing stones, as opposed to herbs, which they use in coca, is that they keep working. Healing stones just continue to have potency, and eventually they, don't work, but it takes a very, very long time for them to run out. I've never made one that has run out so far, at least with what people have said. And try not to waste any of them. You're going to have to waste a little bit of the stones because you just get these little shards, but try your best not to waste them, and try to make sure that they're pretty even, that you get a couple big ones in each and then fill them up with the rest. And then after that, you just fill it up with water. It's going to take about 24 hours for it to sit and have potency, and then after that you can use them at any time, and they will just fix you right up in battle. They're wonderful for that. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and now you know how to keep yourself safe on the road. And they look so lovely in the little chest. And I want to thank a minor minstrel for letting me do this, and which is the original channel that it was on, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like the tutorial, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!